So that's what it comes down to at the end. Is Joe Exotic's in jail? He's found guilty of this murder for hire thing, but they really came after him with all these counts of animal cruelty, which they were able to prove because people were selling them out left and right. But ultimately, he had all these problems with all these lawsuits with Carole, and that was Joe's own fault because whatever he was doing, he couldn't quite figure out like the line that he couldn't cross. And here he is. He thinks he's maybe like he thought he was paying, I think, for Carole Baskin to be taken out. But it was pretty clear that since he was paying Jeff's guy, and Jeff's guy, who, the hitman here, what was his name again?
The potential, Glover, the guy, the skinhead in the bath with the bandana.
Right. It seems like Lowe and Glover were like, look, let's just do this, get him on the record. And then that other guy, the Mark Davis jet ski guy.
By the way, the jet ski, and I'm sorry, had an exhaust tail. If with the squirt stream, if your jet ski has a squirt stream, you're not actually rich. You're like Oklahoma Big Cat Circle rich. That's my only thing there.
I mean, you can only play in the conference you're in.
Yeah.
So that's really what it comes down to at the end. Is like you go, do I want Joe to be innocent of this because two other guys set him up to take a zoo? I'm like, that seems wrong. Yeah. I mean, that's what's the beauty of this documentary is that you're conflicted in how you feel about some of the people, not all the people.
Yeah.
Ones you mentioned, and we don't have to go over it the whole time. There's layups of like, okay, bad guy, don't like this person, all this stuff. But with Joe at the end, and he's in jail, and you're like, it feels like this guy who deserves to have punishment against him. The catalyst of the whole thing was a guy trying to steal a zoo.
And I mean, and by the way, trying to steal a bad zoo, like a zoo that shouldn't be there. So even the pretense of the entire thing is like fucked up because it almost normalizes it. And as the documentary goes, you find yourself at different turns. I found myself at one turn, like starting to root for Doc. Or not Doc, I would never root for Doc. Starting to root for Joe for a second. I was like, I turned to Meg and I'm like, I kind of feel bad for him. And then the next scene is him blowing the head off a mannequin. I mean, and pretending it's Carole Baskin with a wig on it. By the way, when Carole's husband is going through all the antagonistic behaviors of Joe Exotic, word for word, and recounting them, I lost my shit. I mean, he's like, first he posts a diaper man with Carol's head, and here's a picture of this gooey thing, and it says, quote, "Smile, everyone, life could be worse. You could have a crotch like Carole Baskin." I'm like, I'm like,
no, he was very.
Joe was just, and then Joe in the tiger, the tiger suit outside her place protesting, and then he's got the animals killing each other. Like he was just a 7-year-old, and that's why, I think for a while you're kind of like, man, I'd like it if this guy would just, because he was charming. He could be charming. He really could. And at times I thought he cared about the animals in a misguided, fucked up way, that you had like trauma and you're covering holes in your psyche with these big cats. I mean, like it's all trauma related, but at times I was like, I kind of feel bad for him. But then he would, at every turn, he would do something big. Yeah, he's evil. He's evil.
So let's cast this. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'd love to cast it.
Okay. I have way too many notes on Joe Exotic. My first thought was Leo DiCaprio, just because I think of a borderline homeless Rick Dalton from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like Leo could just push the boundaries a little bit more. Leo's capable of anything. Then I thought, well, what if I want to go real weird though? What about Jody High Roller?
Jody High Roller would be perfect, and it would almost be like method acting, I think.
Yeah, I think he could do it. If Jody High Roller's too busy, which is always a possibility, he's crushing it right now. Jared Leto.
Jared Leto could play almost everything, and I don't know how you say it. I think it's Leto.
I think Jared Leto.
Whatever it is, he's a terrific actor. I have Matthew McConaughey easy. Easy. I mean, for me, it's just
Sure.
it's a layup. Now, I also think Mickey Rourke could play any of these people.
I have him down for somebody here.
Oh, you
later
do?
on.
Okay, good. So next, we got any of your picks are terrific, and I've got for Joe Exotic, I've got Matthew McConaughey by a mile.
Yeah, Mud. Mud is like an entry point into Joe Exotic.
Mud meets Dallas Buyers Club.
Perfect. Okay, Doc Antle. Seth Rogen would be great. I think John C. Reilly would be great.
Yep.
But we were doing much like the festival draft, Dead or Alive. Philip Seymour Hoffman was born to play Doc Antle.
Yeah, we had that written down here too.
I mean, imagine how good he would be, but also pompous, and just the dialogue that he would deliver and that reassuring look that, like, I know you may know that I'm whatever, but I'm never giving in.
I'm in control. I want to throw Jeff Bridges in the ring for him and really challenge the likability of Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, Bridges is going to have to eat some cheeseburgers, though.
Yeah, he could get big. This blew my mind. Doc Antle lived 20 minutes away from me. When they describe Yogaville, where he was, where he first... Huh? Yeah, dude, when he first... Huh?
What if you had known him and then your play after this was like, that's not the Doc Antle I know. The Doc Antle I know is a good, caring guy.
I hope nobody plays that angle, because I will... Listen, I'm going to find somebody that knew him 20 years ago, presumably when he lived out here. Yogaville is this weird place that you drive by the sign for it, and you know it's like 5 miles off it's not even a highway. So the way it is here is like there's barely a highway, then there's county roads, and then there's like back roads. It's 5 miles off a back road by an LA standard. And supposedly it's this big commune. It's like it's a hair short of being a nudist colony, and there's one up in Northern Virginia, but it's fucking weird, dude. Look up Yogaville. That's where this cat lived. You have Carole. Go ahead. Sorry.
Carole Baskin, Jennifer Coolidge, shout out to Norwell, Mass. You may remember her as Stifler's mom.
Which is crazy because Stifler's mom was talking about her the other day. I
really liked her.
She's 58. That movie came out 20 years ago. She was like in her late 30s during that movie playing a 50-something-year-old.
Oh, my God. I always hate when I find out how much younger somebody was when I thought they were older than me. But yeah, 38. She's 58 now.
Yeah, she was like 4 years. She was like 4 years older than me, playing that like 50-year-old mom. It's weird.
Yeah, she nailed it.
She did.
No wonder she was so great. She was only 38. Yeah, she's from Norwell though, so big.
Oh, Norwell, Mass.
This is one of the best ones I have. All right, Baskin's husband is Howard, right? Howard Baskin.
Yeah.
Stephen Merchant.
Okay, I'm looking up Stephen Merchant.
Stephen
Merchant. Okay.
Yeah. Next up, I have Eric Kami. Is that how to pronounce the last name?
Eric Kami. For whom?
So he was the guy, long hair. He said basically at one point, and he tried to be pretty humble about it, was like, if it wasn't for me, this place would be a mess. He was kind of running the show, making sure everybody get fed.
Yeah.
Sunglasses. He talked about some dark times, but only alluded to them. I don't think he got real deep on it. I could have missed that part. Also, if DiCaprio decides, hey, I want that part, I would still want Jody High Roller to be a part of this. I think Jody High Roller is adaptable to a lot of different things. He could be that, but if we can't do that, I thought Josh Duhamel, if he's not doing another Transformers,
right.
Josh is a guy. He'd just be great to have on set. But here's a wild card for you. What if Daniel Day-Lewis was like, I want a role, but I don't want to be the star, and you have maybe the greatest actor of his generation playing a bit part, but giving you all of that darkness.
Just give me all 6 scenes. Yeah. Just give me like everything. Go live on a big cat farm for 6 months. Method act. I mean, this has got to be a tough one to method act. The producer who didn't actually get rich off this thing, who by the way lives in, or the director that, you know, with the weird hat, that you know, all his shit burnt down in the fire.
That was Rich. I remember that guy being a kid, being on all those
Kirkham. He lives in Norway now. But I say that to say, this guy gave like months, if not years of his life, like being a method director, and fucking got bit by a spider, lost his hearing for a month. Like, that's the type of thing that was going on there. Like, people are smoking ice around you, and you're trying to do, like, it's crazy. Put Daniel Day-Lewis in a big cat farm. It'd be wonderful.
Do you want me to cast Rich right now? Because I can do that.
Cast him.
Steve Buscemi.
Wow. Let me pull up Rich. That is perfect.
Yeah, there doesn't really even need to be anybody offered the role.
Okay.
If Buscemi didn't accept, we just write the character out of the script. It's my favorite one.
I like that.
John Finley, one of Joe Exotic's husbands, who then was like, I'm actually sleeping with the secretary, and we're gonna have a kid together, and I'm gonna get a fresh set of jibs. I'm gonna get a welding
he's got
job.
Good teeth.
Yeah, so John Finley's a great comeback story actually in this one. How about Fred Durst?
Fred Durst would be terrific.
He'd just sit and he'd be like, "Hey, Fred, you don't really have to act that much. You're just gonna be shirts off, some tats, and you just let it all hang out." I did think it was funny that when they were describing the kind of guys that Joe Exotic likes, they were like, you see John Finley, and he's this muscle-bound bully.
Like, really? Like, yeah. Does he look pretty intimidating to you? Like, he's like 178 of like 23% body fat. And by the way, I went on. If you remember, he was always getting interviewed at this inn, and they showed the roadside sign at one point. I went down a rabbit hole reading the reviews for this inn because it just blows me away. People talked about waking up bleeding because of the bed bugs. People talked about getting cut by the springs sticking out of the mattresses. Some woman was concerned about a hole in the bathroom floor. Quote, we walked into the check-in area with our kids. Big mistake. He had a large screen TV on showing a graphically naked woman being killed. Rushed the kids outside at this inn. That doesn't
sound family-friendly place.
No, it doesn't. I mean, we're bed bugs, springs, just a bunch of 1-star ratings. I think that's I think you're right on with the observation that he's not actually muscle bound, but I'm glad he's doing better. I am.
Oh, he's doing great. His teeth look great.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff Lowe. This one's a little tricky because you need somebody who can kind of play. Like, you can't have somebody that's acting too hard. The role here is to be subdued, not acting. The camera hates actors. Right?
Yeah.
So I thought I'm going to give you two. Sam Elliott came to mind, maybe a little too old now for that role. Or one of my favorite actors in anything, Ben Mendelsohn, right now.
I know who he is.
He's great in everything he does. He's shown a ton of range. He's a little odd. But I think that guy could play anybody.
Yep.
But it may not be enough of a visual. But you throw somebody in a do-rag and an Oakley hat and some Affliction jean jackets, like, Okay, Glover, the hitman, the alleged, maybe, but he wasn't really a hitman because he wasn't ever going to go down there and actually do this. A lot of options. Channing Tatum.
Ooh.
Tom Hardy could do it. Might be too small of a role. This is where I penciled in Mickey Rourke at one point, but I'm going to throw one more name at you.
Yep.
If it's your production, we got to get Nick Cage a role.
Oh yeah, Nick Cage is going to be the Kirkham. The director.
Nick Cage is Kirkham? Okay, all right.
Yeah,
so
put him in a
Rourke
stupid ass black hat like that, and just a black button down. Like, that's so Nick Cage.
Yeah. Who else do I have?
Ooh, you know who's got to be in this? Willem Dafoe's got to be in this movie.
I don't know who Dafoe would. Dafoe could be Kirkman. He'd be good at that too. Now I'm looking at the Buscemi thing, and I go, the Miami guy, Benicio del Toro, be perfect for him.
Oh yeah.
Little Latin flavor.
Yep.
And I really only have a couple more. The guy that had his arm bitten off, Dev Patel. You could go Remy, the guy that played Freddie Mercury, if you wanted to do that.
Yep, you could do that.
Then is Josh the jet ski guy with the red hair?
Yep. Yep.
I was kind of thinking for that one.
The businessman, the guy that they put in quotes under his title, quote, businessman.
It'd be perfect for him is he was incredible in the Tanya Harding movie with Margot Robbie, where he plays the dude that hits. God, how can I
didn't
just
like
blanking
that
on.
movie, dude. I thought Margot was amazing, but I just kind of didn't. I thought it could have been darker.
Oh, I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool. Anyway, he plays Richard Jewell in the Clint Eastwood movie. So the guy that plays Jewell,
Richard Jewell, the actor is Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah, I think so.
Paul Walter Hauser.
Yeah, that's it. It's a three-name dog.
Yeah, three-name dog.
You know it's real. You know your parents want you to be an actor when you got three names.
None of those actors' fucking names are real. They're all like pen names and shit.
I get to use that all the time. I'm like, yeah, I want to be on TV, so I threw an E in there. That's about it. That's about all I got.